So hopefully you've made it through the lecture on the peripheral nervous system. This is just going to be a rehash of the same material, but it's in a little bit different format. And sometimes I think this visual of seeing the plexi stacked up a little bit can kind of help you remember some. So we're going to start with the cervical plexus. And we know that the primary nerve of the cervical plexus is the phrenic nerve. And the phrenic nerve serves to provide innervation to our diaphragm. And that diaphragm is just slightly important for respiration, So the cervical plexus comprises our C1 through C4 nerve roots. Okay? Our second plexi is the brachial plexus. So I'll give you a moment to pause it right here so that you can write in the different nerves of the brachial plexus. Okay, now that you have that down, we're going to go through what goes into each of our nerves of the brachial plexus. So our first one is our axillary nerve. Our axillary nerve innervates part of our rotator cuff and our deltoid. Our musculocutaneous nerve innervates the bicep. Our ulnar nerve innervates our hand intrinsics and half of our finger flexors. Our median nerve innervates the muscles of the thenar eminence, so our thumb, and the other half of our finger flexors. And our radial nerve innervates our wrist extensors and our elbow extensor, or triceps. Our brachial plexus is comprised of nerve roots C5 through T1. Okay, the lumbar plexus. Our lumbar plexus is going to be L1 through L4. And in the lecture, you'll notice that I talked about that there is a shared innervation. Our L4 nerve root is actually part of the lumbar plexus and also part of the sacral plexus. So sometimes we combine them together to make the lumbosacral plexus. Our primary nerve of our lumbar plexus is our femoral nerve. Our femoral nerve innervates the anterior portion of the thigh and the medial aspect of our calf. Its prime muscle that we are going to see functioning of is going to be our hip flexors and our quad. Our final plexi is our sacral plexus. Our primary nerve off of the sacral plexus is the sciatic nerve. And as I mentioned before, the sciatic nerve gives innervation or gets innervation from our L4 nerve root, as well as the other nerves of the sacral spine. The primary nerve, that sciatic, will divide up into the common fibular, or you'll see it common peroneal, and the tibial nerve, and both of those will also give innervation to the sural nerve. So this is going to innervate the back of the thigh and down into the lateral portion of the foot. The sciatic nerve gives innervation to our hamstring. Our common fibular nerve is going to give innervation to our anterior tib and peroneals. Our tibial nerve is going to innervate our gastrocsoleus as well as our posterior tib. And our sural is a nerve that's just going to give sensory information or bring in sensory information from the distal portion of the extremity. That is all of our plexi. So we have all four plexi: the cervical, the brachial, the lumbar, and the sacral, or you can combine the last two and say the lumbosacral plexus. Your job is going to be to know all of the nerves of each of the plexi, okay, so the ones that I have mentioned here, and what exactly they're innervating. Good luck!